Get up, girl. His voice had lowered to a growl. Get up and pick a weapon. Tsaria turned her head to look up at him, her eyes narrowed. I don't belong here, he snickered. You belong here more than any of these others. And if you don't believe me, I'll take you back down to the morgue and let you have another look at what you did to my lieutenant. She shuddered. A flash of the memory, the young elf's blue skin charred black from one temple to the other. Her eyes fell to the stone floor. Everyone outside this mountain is going to try to kill you, he said, pointing to nothing in particular. You think you'd be able to run and hide then? It didn't work for those vermin who were raising you, did it? She pushed herself up onto her knees, then slowly stood. Her eyes burned almost as much as the muscles in her legs and back. She'd had no break from training for 3 days. Kadax took a step toward her. Get a weapon before one of these others cuts you apart. He tilted his head towards the crowd of acolytes across the floor. Tsaria looked at the rickety wooden stand, leaning slightly under the weight of the swords and axes. The weapons it held looked just as neglected. The axe heads were more rust than steel, the sword hilts beaten out of shape. She walked along the length of it, her fingers brushing the shaft of a short spear. She'd never used a weapon larger than the knife she'd used to clean a fish. How could she possibly hope to use any of these? Her hand rested for just a moment on the pommel of a sword, and she paid it no more attention than any of the others. But then a voice whispered to her.
Hello, Tsaria.
She gasped, her hand flinching away. She turned toward the rack, looking closely. Her fingers had brushed some of the dust off the hilt. In that bare patch, the pommel glimmered in the dark. She pushed more of the dust away, revealing a sphere of obsidian. The hilt wrappings were ragged, but the crossbar was straight, strong, and wide. The leather sheath was worn through in some places. She lifted the weapon off the rack, turning it sideways and sliding it a few inches out of the sheath to look at the blade. It was notched near the hilt and had a few dark spots that may have been dried blood. She heard the whisper again.
Don't be afraid. My name is Traitor, and I've been waiting for you.